Hey folks, welcome back to the Portable Gamer, welcome back to Farming Simulator 19, and welcome back to Meadowgrove Farm. You know what's really funny? I'll tell you what's really funny. I take long breaks between maps, not deliberately, but I got a lot of sims going on, and I do try to record these every day, and there are days when I get on a sim and I have no idea what I'm doing. Like, I literally cannot remember the last thing that we did. We got these 3 fields mowed. I left 17 not mowed because I wanted to mow it on camera. And we got 24 and 20. We got a single layer of fert on them. Right? We got lime on them, and they've both been subsoiled. So we can do one of 2 things. We can, let's get a seeder going on either 24 or 20. Let's start with 24, and then we will get our Ford going, and we will mow that last grass field. I don't want to do too much grass work on camera. Whoa. Clipping through the wall. I don't want to do too much grass work on camera, and I know we just did, I wouldn't say a ton of grass work, but a decent amount on, come on, get on up there. A decent amount on Peterville. So let's, oh, don't hit the railing. Zoom out a little bit. There we go. Man, the, what is it called? The vehicle control mod? That hybrid of gearbox, drive control, various other things. It's a cool mod. I like it. And it does sort of bum me out that it is a work in progress that will never progress. It's done, man. Because it needs a little work, and it's just crazy to think that that work will never be done. It will never, unless somebody else works on it, it's never going to be done. So there's some little ticky-tack stuff about it that can be a little, you know what I'm saying? A little, but we'll deal with it. We will deal with it. Right. You know what? I have an idea. Well, I have a bunch of ideas. But for the moment, I just have one idea. We're going to go down to the store. I have a planter down there, and I think, you know, I used to go with canola a lot as my sort of go-to cash crop if I just needed to plant something, put something in the ground, but I think I might go soybeans. And the reason why is I typically want canola because you plant that with a seed drill, which is what you also use for wheat and barley give you straw swath that you need for your animals. So I feel like wheat and barley were sort of near the top of the list, even though I didn't necessarily get a lot of money from it. I got that straw. And because I had a seed drill, well, what else can I plant with this? I can plant canola. And that's why I went with canola so often. But I'm gravitating to soybeans a little bit more lately on some maps because you just make so much money from it. Right. We'll make our turn here. Carefully. Carefully. Here we go. So, right. What is going on? It's Wednesday for me. It's Thursday for you. What happened? Yesterday, the Washington DLC dropped for American Truck Simulator. The Washington DLC and the Forestry Machinery Pack. That's DLC as well. I love it. I'm really, really happy with the Washington DLC. Now, if you're not familiar, if you don't know how this works, in ATS and ETS, they release new big patches several times a year, and then they're also always releasing smaller sort of, I don't know, they're bigger than hot fixes. They're always patching the game, always. And the thing about Moment, oh yeah. Right, so we've got that. We don't get little lids. Let's see if we can get rid of this fertilizer right here. Carefully. Is this fertilizer or seed? Doesn't matter. It's going in. Okay, so that is our seed. So we then need a pallet of fertilizer. And I'll get all this stuff out of the yard. I promise. Try not to leave too much of a mess. in my wake. So we do this, and then now it's over here. All right. So they're always releasing little patches for the game, which is cool, and I appreciate. But the reason they're releasing little patches for the game is because it's got little bugs, which is totally okay. I do not have a problem with that. Before I forget, I'm going to swap this over to soybeans. There we go. I'm totally cool with that. These games are unbelievably complex. And yeah, you're going to have that. You're going to have little things that need fixing, particularly on day one. So I did notice some things. I had some crashes. I was trying to play in my profile, and I was having some crashes. So I went to a vanilla profile, and I was able to get through a video. It can be a little challenging to start a video over and over and over. And after, I don't know, half a dozen tries, it's really hard to like put on the Gabe face and sound like I'm in a good mood, because at that point I'm not. But nobody wants to hear me unhappy gaming. Who wants to hear that? So it is tricky. It is tricky. It's probably one of the hardest parts of making these videos is sounding like you're in a good mood when you're not. But for the most part, it's just gaming, and I love gaming, so it's easy to be in a good mood. But I got that done. What's funny for me is there we go. What's funny for me is when I have a problem like that, when I have a crash, it happened with a set of Corsa Competizione. Didn't really happen with MotoGP 19. It definitely happened with Farm Sim. There were all kinds of problems on day one for this game. It's interesting to me to go to a forum, to go to a discussion, and see people that are defending a game or defending a sim almost to the point of being irrational. Well, there's ain't no almost about it. They are genuinely irrational, and they are, you hear people say things like, there have never been any problems with this game. The problem is your mods. It's always your mods. And I think, well, that's just not accurate. Every game has bugs. Every game has bugs. If ATS or ETS or Farm Sim or anything else didn't have bugs, there'd be no hotfixes. There'd be no intermediate patches for ATS and ETS. They would release 1.35 and there would never be anything else released until 1.36, but that's not the case. It's always 1.35.021, 0.022, etc. And that's fine. That's fine. But when you get to a point where you as a gamer are, hysterical, I guess is a good way to describe it. It's like we're not figuring anything out here. We're not learning anything. And that's very frustrating for me, because I go to a forum, I go to a thread, either because I figured something out or because I want to figure something out. And when I hear people that are in that sort of extremely dogmatic mindset, we're not going to exchange any ideas here. We ain't going to figure out nothing. So that is challenging for me. And, part of it, I'm not old. I'm not a kid. Obviously, I'm not a kid. I'm not old. But I do remember a little bit. I wouldn't say before the internet. I'm not quite that old. But I remember it used to be different, even just a few years ago. And I really think that we're doing multiple things at once here. I really do think that the internet, as awesome as it is, and all the things that it has made possible in our lives and in the world, I do think social media in particular has really impacted the way that we communicate with one another for the worse. Because the thing about the internet, and everybody knows this, is nobody's wrong on the internet. Nobody ever has to be wrong. Are we good here? I think we're good. Let's give it a try. All right. Let's X out of this. Let's hop out and see how we're doing. There we go. Fully fertilized. Going a little fast, but you know what? It is a fast track. They don't call it a slow track. There we go. Beautiful. Beautiful. Let's run right up the lane here, hop in our Ford, and do a little bit of grass work. So yeah, I really think it has impacted the way people communicate with one another. Nobody ever has to be wrong, and nobody ever has to listen, I guess. And it's tricky sometimes to find places where you can have sane conversations, to the point where I've sort of given up. It's really difficult to talk about things that people feel strongly about on the internet. And it seems like everybody feels strongly about things on the internet. Ain't no casual anything. People are very passionate about their hobbies, about their beliefs. So it's I'm curious what I'm gonna do as far as you can go and just read, not participate, but it's tricky to try to have a conversation these days. Where's it all going? Where is it all going? I do wonder. Right. We've got plenty of money at the moment. And I don't, I'm a little bit burned out on animals because of Holzer Map. I feel like on Holzer Map, all I do is take care of animals. And on Peterville, I'm debating swapping some of those fields over from grass to arable, so we don't have all grass there, and we've got a ton of grass here. So basically, I'm in a pickle because I'm a little burned out on animals. I'm a little burned out on grass. All that leaves is arable, but we're going to be doing more and bigger arable on Peterville. So I don't know if I want to turn any of these grass fields, over for arable as well. You know what? I guess we can just keep them. Helper H is blocked. That ain't cool. Hang on. Drop this right here. Flip around here. I did trade out our mower. First episode we had a trailed New Holland. This map has some pretty good hills in it, and as much as I was trying to avoid side hill, I did end up side hilled a couple of times, and the New Holland was not tracking properly. That's not straight. The New Holland wasn't tracking properly when we were side hill, and I felt like it was just, as much as I tried, it was like just impossible to not be side hilled a little bit, and I was kind of fighting with it. So leave that there for the moment. We're going to run back down the hill, see what's going on with JCB. I wonder if it's that gate. No, it's not the gate. Okay. So yeah, I'm not the gate. Where is our sir? Oh, these hired workers. What the hell? Right. So what I'm going to need you to do is make lengths back and forth on the field over here, or just take off and drive into a bush over there. Right. Back in gear. Back in gear. Here we go. 90 degrees, nice and straight. There we are. Go. Can I trust you this time, hired worker? Can I trust you? Hopefully. Right, so you see what I'm getting at. I don't know if I want to, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what I want to do. I just want to farm. And I suppose we're going to have animals and grass work no matter what we do. Oh, by the way, I suppose I didn't mention this, but what we've been doing with this grass is gathering it up with a loading wagon and putting it in our bunkers here because we're making bales on Peterville. I thought, let's do loose silage here. I don't know where I'm going to sell it because we don't own the BGA. Now, we've got enough money we could buy the BGA. However, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess that's the alternative, and it is different, right? Because we don't own the BGA on Peterville, and there really was no BGA to begin with on Holzer. That'd be a different take. Be a different way to do it. Okay, so we'll think about that. I believe it is, at least in multiplayer, the BGA was 70,000 on this map. Right. Fire up the mower. Drop it. Put her in gear. Here we go. Blocked by an object. Let's make one pass on... let's make one pass on this field. We'll do one headland, and then we'll go get the JCB sorted out again. I can see it already out of the corner of my eye. Same thing. It's buddy, what are you doing over there? What are you doing over there? I don't know, man. I came to this farm for the relaxation. So far, not quite relaxing. Not quite. All right. Get around there. And this is a pretty small field. So I think we're gonna be done with it fairly quickly. I'm liking this map. I'm liking Peterville. It's got a good level of detail. It's well balanced. It's got just enough driving. Did I say Peterville? Meadowgrove. I mean, I like Peterville too. But this map, Meadowgrove, I'm really liking it. I really am. It's kind of a classic UK style map. Small fields, tight. Tight, I said. There you go. Right, so take this up here. I'll lift it. Flip this thing around. Set the brake. Here we go. Oh, JCB, what are you doing? You know, the thing with the hired workers, I know if you do a headland first, it sort of solves all these problems because they have some room to turn. And I imagine that's what the problem is here, is this thing is trying to go out beyond this hedge to start its next length. But, of course, it can't. Now, we do have course play running. And this is the new course play, or the newest one. Got it from the GitHub, and it seems to work pretty good. But course play, it's always a work in progress. You know, when you go to the GitHub, even when there's a full release on the Giants Mod Hub, they're always working on it on GitHub, and that's cool. I appreciate that, but it also tells me that the mod. The course play mod, it's always got a little bit of room for improvement. Right. And let's just assume it's going to keep doing the same things. Go ahead, buddy. Let's just assume it's going to keep doing the same things. So we'll keep running up here to our mower, and we'll do a little mowing, then we'll do a little fixing. So they're always working on course play. I believe they worked on the FS19 version all the way up to the end of 17. So I mean, there's not, I don't want to say there's anything wrong with it, but there are always things that they can improve. And they do. And I appreciate that. But it means that at any given moment, you know what I'm saying? There's things that could be improved. Cuts both ways. And I mentioned that even though we're not using course play, but we do have it. So I suppose I could have just put that worker on course play rather than the back and forth hired worker. Right. We'll get a little headland going here, enough that we can do some lengths. We'll knock out this field. I did get, you saw I got the Kuhn Merge Max rake. A little bit big for this map, perhaps, but width-wise, it's not the biggest. It's not the biggest rake available. The reason I got it is you can throw to either side with it, and I find that to be, oh, JCB. Oh, JCB. Being able to throw to either side, I find, is super helpful on maps with small fields where you've got hedges close in on both sides. So I'm not necessarily trying to do just laps here. I'd like to do some lengths, but it may not work out that way. Right, it's a little better. So that's it. That's all I got. Trying to figure out what to do with this map. Trying to figure out what to do with Peterville. Trying to figure out what to do with Holzer. And I saw on Lancey Boy's Discord, his Irish map looks like it is just about done. Now, I don't know if that is only for the mod contest. I don't know if it's going to go into general release. I've got no inside information on that, but whatever happens with it, I am extremely excited. One of my favorite map makers, and from a certain angle, maybe my favorite map maker, period. Just love it. Selby Farm Estates, I was bummed that it didn't get officially supported up to Seasons. I think some people made Seasons masks for it, but released them only as the mask, and you had to incorporate it yourself. And I will tell you, I struggled with that. So I was never able to get Selby Farm Estates up to Seasons in 17, but I can't tell you how many hundreds of hours I have on that map. Upton, I love, and then Mapleview and Thornton, possibly Maplewood. Off the top of my head, I might be screwing up the name, but those were the last two that he did for 17. And then has he done anything for 19 yet? I don't think so. I think this next one that he releases will be his first for 19, as far as I know. So yeah, really looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it. And you know who else has Bullet Bill done anything for 19? Possibly a mod contest thing as well. Although I've heard rumors that he stopped modding, or at the very least stopped making maps. I don't know. It's always something with these modders. And you know what? I don't blame them. I was saying that last episode of Farm Sim, maybe? Yeah, Peterville, we were talking about that. Or I was talking about that. I couldn't imagine being a map maker and having somebody up your butt about something you're doing for them for free. That would make me crazy. I get irritated when people get irritated, even when they're paying me. I couldn't imagine how irritated I would get if somebody was acting that way for something that I was going to give them. You need to cool your boots, son. Whatever it is that I'm making for you for free, it'll be done when it's done. Relax yourself. Relax yourself. Enjoy. Stop bugging me. So yeah, I couldn't do it. I could not be a map maker. And another thing that's holding me back in that area is I can't make maps. I've tried. You know, I can do some things with Giants Editor. Some pretty modest projects. But there's no way I could make a map. I've tried to, and the immensity of it, just I just couldn't do it. And I think part of what sort of scares me off it is knowing that there are things that will happen as you're making the map that will cause you to scrap everything that you've done to that point. I feel like it's inevitable that happens. Right? Like you make a bunch of terrain, which is not a small thing to sculpt, you know, hills and places that you're going to put roads and various other things. You do all that and then realize, oh, you know, maybe I want to, I don't know, something, you know, change something or move to a slightly different area or whatever. And everything that you've done needs to be scrapped. You just won't be able to use it. You know, all that work, all those hours. Now, to be fair, it's not entirely wasted because you inevitably learned something as you were doing that. You always learn something when you work in an app, whether it's Photoshop or SAP or Giants Editor, doesn't matter. You're always learning as you're working with a piece of technology. So you got something out of it, but still, as far as getting you closer to your map being done, no, not usable, not usable. That would make me crazy. Right, we're going to pull this forward over in the other field, park it up next to our rake, right about here. We'll go set the JCB on another length, and I think we'll call it, because I'm either going to finish that field manually in the JCB, or I'm just going to be fighting that worker. Undecided. Undecided. And then next episode, maybe we'll rake and pick up a little grass next time. And we will, this field, I assume, this field that the JCB is in now will be done next episode, so maybe we will move over and plant some soybeans in that other field. Right. Buddy. Oh, it's so disappointing. This is what you get when you hire workers these days. Come here, man. What are you doing? What are you doing? Right. Out of the hedge. Oh, you know what we could use? Because we've got the... we do have the vehicle control mod. We could use the GPS. Yeah, I'll do that off camera. Although I'll set it up right now. Is it this one? We want to be on right there. Yep. And then it's this, is it not? Ah, it's this. So we go here, like so, like so, and like so. Beautiful. Right. I'll finish this with GPS. Folks, thanks for stopping back to check out the Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Farming Simulator 19. This is Meadowgrove Farm. Man, I hope I said Meadowgrove when we started the episode and not Peterville. Peterville's been on my mind, but I'm pretty sure I said Meadowgrove. I'll check it in the edit. All right. We'll see you next time. Take care now.